Welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast and welcome to episode 201. My name's Tonchi Prusak and I'm your host for this week's episode, and thank you for joining us on this weekly look at everything football for here in Geelong. Tonight we've got a massive show for you lined up, a huge show. We're going to be speaking to Bell Park President Rose Pirrottina. Great achievement over the weekend. Bell Park's senior men's team, after about 20 years of trying, have finally got out of State League 4, earning promotion to next season's State League 3. We've also got a major recruit to announce later today for the Barcelona Old Boys over 45s, someone who's been very, very heavily involved in Geelong football over the last few decades, someone who wants to get fit, just like me. I need to get fit. I need some motivation. And so any men over the age of 45, particularly in the football community, would love to have you on board, but we'll be revealing that person who's going to be joining Stuart Mallon, our captain, and myself as the, utility, I guess, a little bit later on. This gentleman will also be talking about his views on elite football development in the region. Last but not least, we'll also be speaking to a gentleman called Mick Trim, who heads a very interesting program up at the Leisure Time Sports Centre on a Friday, late Friday morning, Walking Football for Health. We've heard about this program before here in Geelong, but this is a different type of program, or another type of program, and something that offers older people an opportunity to participate in football, albeit a much slower type of tempo. Maybe something for me to slowly ease my way into that over 45s Barcelona team. But huge show on tonight. We're going to have a little bit of a tribute now to all of our business advertising sponsors who have helped us this year, and if it wasn't for them, this show simply would not have come out. Next week is our final episode. Big thank you to the clubs that have supported us, namely Bell Park Sports Club, who sponsored 2 episodes, Surf Coast as well, that has sponsored 1, North Geelong Warriors, also, and Geelong Galaxy United, all have sponsored 1 episode this year. We can't forget the generous support of Golden Plains Soccer Club, who also made a small donation, but very greatly appreciated. And that's it. They're the clubs that have sponsored us, that have helped us, that have really assisted us this year. What about the other clubs? You've still got a chance. If your club wants to sponsor next week's episode, and we'll prolong the season by another episode. And what do you get if you do sponsor it? Well, we'll call up to 3 different guests. Could be the president, could be someone from the senior men's team, senior women's team, maybe the juniors, or maybe even a volunteer that you feel needs or should get some acknowledgement. It's over to you, clubs. Otherwise, next week will be our final episode for season 2026. And who knows, maybe the final episode, full stop. In the meantime, this is a small tribute to our business advertising sponsors from this year. And then on the other side of the break is time for our news desk. Folks, don't go away. You're tuning in to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast.
The world is yours. So work hard and you can have whatever it is you want.
Boss Sports Line Marking is the Geelong Region's premier sports line marking service. Servicing fantastic service, food and coffee, well-stocked produce and groceries at very reasonable prices. 5 stars for the coffee served, beautifully made latte, everything you need in this wonderful little shop. Staff always
EcoDuct
friendly.
is a Geelong-based business which manufactures an environmentally friendly low-profile duct system that is specifically designed for high-rise apartment applications where limited ceiling spaces are common. The innovative
Where in Geelong can you get great food from such a wide-ranging menu? At the Elephant and Castle, of course. Situated on 158 McKillop Street in East Geelong, the Elephant and Castle has everything that you will want and need when you decide to have a night out on the town. The Elephant and Castle. Welcome to Furphy. You've known us previously as Geelong Galvanising. For over 30 years, our team has specialised in delivering high-quality surface finishes for steel installations and products in the construction, landscaping and engineering industries. That affordable plus quality equals Geelong Access Hire. At Geelong Access Hire, we have an extensive range of machines available. Our experienced team...
Hi, I'm Joe Gergich,
And I'm Helena Fantella.
and welcome to our family here at Harcourts.
What do we do at J Hill Books? For some clients, we process their payroll, accounts, and invoicing every week. For other clients, we check their data entry and reconcile their accounting software to their bank statement before lodging their quarterly BAS. We set up
When you or a loved one need professional nursing care at home, experience and compassion matter. Private nursing care provides personalised, one-on-one nursing services throughout the Geelong and Surf Coast region. Delivered by
United League Security is your sports security specialists, keeping your employees, guests and assets safe at all times. At United League Security, we can assist with all security needs, but we specialise in event and sports security. And we start off this week's news desk with the results from the Victorian Premier League women's competition played on the weekend. Big thank you to Branko Krstevski, who provided us with all this video footage from Geelong Galaxy's game against Banyule City. Galaxy travelled to Banyule City and came away with a 3-0 win, courtesy of goals from Olivia Ortiz in the 43rd minute, Alicia Ike in the 53rd, and Beth Poppe in the 84th minute. It keeps Galaxy in 5th position on the competition standings with 1 round to go. They take on second place Brunswick Juventus, who are in second spot with 44 points. Now, Galaxy with a win can overtake Juventus. 4th placed Southern United take on Bayside Argonauts. And there we go. They're having the. We'll bring that graphic up back again. There we go. Banyule City losing to Geelong Galaxy United. Now, Geelong Galaxy take on Brunswick Juventus. It's at Bannockburn Recreation Reserve this Saturday at 3 p.m. Now, should Galaxy win this game, they'll jump at least 1 spot, so they'll overtake Brunswick Juventus. Southern United, who are currently in 4th position, they take on Bayside Argonauts. Now, Southern United has got the same amount of points as Geelong Galaxy, but a goal difference of plus 25, Galaxy plus 18. Now, should Southern United drop a point or lose, that would mean that Geelong Galaxy would jump into 3rd spot behind potentially Bundoora United. Now, Bundoora United supposedly have signalled that they would not take the promotion spot to NPLW Victoria next year. So even though it's a very, very slim chance, results would have to go Geelong Galaxy's way for them to be knocking on the door of a potential promotion to NPLW next season. Highly unlikely, but we wish Galaxy all the very, very best for this weekend coming. North Geelong Warriors, well, their season is over. They had a bye on the weekend. They normally would have played Western United, but with the demise of Western United, that fixture went out the window and the Warriors had a bye. The final game of the season is against Langwarrin, who secured safety in next season's VPL1 competition, courtesy of a 2-0 win over the champions Melbourne Knights yesterday at Knights Stadium. So Langwarrin can't get relegated. North Geelong Warriors, it's a dead rubber for them. So this game will take place at Lawton Reserve on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. It'll be interesting to see if Stuart Begg, the Warriors coach, bloods a lot of young players. There's a lot of players there in the under-23s probably looking for a chance to play senior football, and I think this would probably be the ideal opportunity for them. Whether they win, whether they lose, I think it's irrelevant. I think the most important thing is the next crop of youngsters gets a taste of senior football, particularly those that haven't had a chance or those that have been fringe players over the course of the season. Now, in the state leagues, we've got 2 rounds to go, so let's have a look at the round 20 results played on the weekend. Clifton Hill drew with Geelong Soccer Club 2-2. Brazilian import Andrade Santos scored 2 goals, so he's taken his season's tally to 15 goals. He's currently the leading goal scorer in State League 1. In State League 2, Western Eagles defeated Surf Coast 3-1. John Pikett scoring the Coasters' only goal. Hugo Lebon scored Geelong Rangers' only goal, but it wasn't enough as Brimbank Stallions ran away 4-1 winners. That's a big result. That is a big, big result because Rangers, with 2 rounds remaining, are staring down the gauntlet of relegation. Corio have already been relegated down into State League 3. So after last season playing in State League 1, this year dropped down to State League 2. And it's just been a free fall for Corio. They lost to Altona North 1-0. Hasn't been a good season at Hume Reserve at all. Now, Bell Park drew with Point Cook. Probably not a good result on paper, but a draw was enough to secure Bell Park promotion from State 4 into State 3. A huge result, this. An absolutely massive result. 20 years plus in the making. They have tried absolutely everything to get out of State 4, and this current crop under Alan Muscat have managed to do so. Now, we'll be talking to Rose Pirrottina, the Bell Park president, a little bit later on in the show. Very, very excited, and who could blame her? There was a huge celebration on Saturday night up at the Bell Park Sports Club. Massive crowd on hand to watch history in the making, and next year, Corio, Bell Park, and possibly Geelong Rangers will be in Men's State League 3 next season, effectively providing almost a Geelong Advertiser Cup scenario every other week. So that is going to be something to look forward to. Rangers can still save their skin and stay in State 2, but at the moment things aren't looking too good there. Moving on to State League 5, Lara United, who next year will be in State League 6, are yet to record a win this year in State League 5. They went down to Newport Storm 2-0. Deakin Ducks have had an indifferent season, particularly towards the end there. Matt Humphries scored a brace, but it wasn't enough as Meadow Park ran out 4-2 winners over the Ducks. In State 6, Ocean Grove, they defeated Docklands Athletic 4-3 to keep their slim chances of promotion alive. Jack Banks scored 2, David Favetta 1, and Patrick Scusa scored 1. Favetta now has scored 14 goals, Patrick Scusa 10 goals this season, but they are certainly well behind Barnes Finn Murphy, who has scored an amazing 25 goals this year. On to the fixtures for this Saturday, this penultimate round in the Men's State League competition. Ballarat City in 5th position host Geelong. Now, really important scenario is shaping up in State League 1. Tomorrow night, 3rd place Lalor United taking on Clifton Hill, who are 7th. Now, Lalor United has 34 points. Geelong at the moment has 42, so there's 8 points different. If Lalor gets a win here, they'll be 5 points behind Geelong. So technically, anything can still happen with 2 rounds remaining. This Saturday, Lalor United will take on Altona East, who are 6th placed. So 2 wins for Lalor United will make it really, really interesting. Now, Ballarat City, who are in 5th, they take on Geelong. And also Upfield, who are 2nd, on 40 points, so 2 points behind Geelong. They take on Westgate. Now, with only the top team automatically qualifying for VPL 2, the second place team then will play off against the second place team in the southeast, and that at the moment is Mornington to get through to VPL 2 qualifications next year. Geelong's on top by 2 points at the moment. They need to win. They need to beat Ballarat City. And then the final game of the season will be up against West Vale, the bottom side, at home. So that could be a massive, massive party night in 2 Saturdays' time. Okay, moving along to State League 2. Corio at home to third-placed Western Eagles. Geelong Rangers at home to ninth-placed Mill Park. And Surf Coast, who are currently in 8th position, at home to Uni Hills Eagles, currently in 2nd spot. In State League 4, Bell Park travels to 9th-placed Melton Phoenix. That game at McPherson Park kicking off at 5 p.m. And over the page, Lara United at home to 11th-placed Thornbury Athletic in the Battle of the Cellar Dwellers. Can Lara at least get its first win of the season? That game kicking off at 3 p.m. at Lara Recreation Reserve this weekend. Now, the Deakin Ducks taking on Keilor Wolves. What a massive game this is. Now, if the Ducks defeat Keilor Wolves, they'll overtake them into 3rd spot. And it's the top 3 teams that get promoted. So a really crucial game, this one. Deakin Ducks need to win this game at home and continue that winning form into the last game of the season, and then they will be knocking on the door of promotion to State League 4 next year to take over from Bell Park. In State 6, Ocean Grove are currently in 4th position. They take on 8th place Spring Hills. That game is Shell Road Reserve kicking off at 3 p.m. Another important game. If Ocean Grove can maintain that 4th spot, that'll I think it'll put them into the qualifiers or the playoffs. So there's a chance that they could move up to State 5 next year. Barwon in 5th position at the moment, taking on Alphington in 9th. That game kicking off at Alphington Park at 3 p.m. So some crucial games happening in the state leagues, the men's state leagues this weekend coming. Let's have a look at Women's State League. North Geelong Warriors defeated Craigieburn City. A big win and an important win, this one. 5-2. Jasmine Seaman scoring 2. Maeve McKenna 1. Nagiko Chiba and Amanda Jakic also scoring 1 apiece. Now, there's a midweek catch-up game. North Geelong taking on second-last placed Faulkner. That game is on tomorrow night at CB Smith Reserve, kicking off at 7:45 p.m. Now, the Warriors, they need this win, obviously. It'll get them... moving off away from that kind of relegation zone. They're safe at the moment, but nonetheless, they want to finish what has been a rather disappointing season in the best way possible and start setting themselves up for an assault on next year's campaign. Now, this Saturday, round 17 fixture, the big Croatian derby. The Warriors travel to Churchill Reserve to take on St Albans Dynamo. St Albans are currently in 4th position. They're 9 points ahead of the Warriors. And if the Warriors can win against Faulkner, they'll be basically just 6 points behind, and then a win, and will put them 3 points behind Dynamo. So it's fairly close in that middle of the table position, but a lot of bragging rights. A couple of ex-players from North Geelong playing at Dynamo, and so certainly these two teams know each other very, very well. All right, let's move on then to the local league, the men's competition, round 12. So 2 rounds to go. Deakin Ducks defeated FC Leopold 3-1. And look at that, three games all finishing in a 2-1 scoreline for the home side. Golden Plains defeated Barwon. Armstrong United defeated Bell Park. That's a big shock. And Surf Coast defeated Geelong Rangers 2-1. Now, round 13, all the games are this Friday night at 7 p.m. Barwon taking on Bell Park. Then we've got Geelong Rangers taking on Deakin Ducks at 7 p.m. FC Leopold at home to Armstrong United, 8th versus 6th. And then we've got Golden Plains taking on Surf Coast, 3rd versus 2nd. If we move on to the women's competition, round 12, saw some big results there. Lots of goals in round 12 action. Geelong Rangers lost to Lara United 6-0 up at Myers Reserve. At Shell Road Reserve, Ocean Grove lost to Bell Park 3-4. Armstrong United lost to Surf Coast 1-2, and to make it a clean sweep of away teams winning, Deakin Ducks defeated Bowen at Grovedale Reserve 2-1. In round 13 action this Saturday, Surf Coast taking on third place Deakin Ducks. Deakin Ducks are in good form. They defeated second place Bowen. So could this be a preview of a grand final coming up? Deakin Ducks, the Ducks seem to be hitting their form at the right time of the season. Well, this Saturday will certainly tell. Armstrong United hosts 6th place Geelong Rangers. That game kicking off at 1 p.m. And also at 1 p.m, Lara United does battle with Ocean Grove up at the Bell Park Sports Club. Big game this one. 4th place Bell Park taking on 2nd place Barwon. Now, with the Masters Summer League coming up this season, the MSL are looking for referees, so they're making an urgent appeal. If you want to stay involved in the game, learn new skills and give back to the football community, well, the Masters Summer League is looking for new referees. So open to players, family and friends aged 14 years and above, so any of the junior footballers, male or female, who want to get a different perspective or dimension to their game, and also a little bit of pocket money. Here's a fantastic opportunity by becoming a referee. Commit to referee 6 to 7 games this season. Express your interest today. The best way to contact them is via the email mastersgeelong@gmail.com. Now, speaking of the Masters, well, the Geelong Region Soccer Show is assembling an all-star cast of over 45 footballers, and I say that tongue-in-cheek, very, very much. So, tongue-in-cheek. But join the Barcelona Old Boys. Our team has been allocated the moniker or the name of Barcelona. So, any men over the age of 45, come along and join our comp for friendship, for fitness, for fun, probably most importantly for mental health as well, particularly if you haven't had a chance to exercise. The season, I'm told, starts around December. So, this is a good opportunity to start getting yourself fit. I've already got the backing of my wife and my kids, who have given me a challenge to every day do 30 minutes of exercise. Started today, tick. So one down. What's that? About 100 to go, no doubt. But anyway, if you are interested in joining myself, Stuart Mallon, and very, very shortly, we will be announcing as well our new prized recruit, and there are a couple of others as well who we need to get their permission, whether we're going to release their names. But if you would like to get in touch with us and play with our Geelong Region Soccer Show team, you can either contact us via our Facebook page, via our Instagram page, or you can even do it via email. And the best way to do that is communitysportsmedia@gmail.com, or private message us at this page. Now, if you're a club and you are wanting to sponsor next week's episode, also get in touch with us. Look, straight after the show tonight or tomorrow, because if a club goes and sponsors next week's episode, we will hold that final episode for the following week. So we'll extend the season by another episode. If we get 2 clubs sponsoring, well, we'll extend the season by 2 weeks. So if any of you community clubs would like to sponsor, we'll possibly go into September when it's the local league grand finals as well. Now, just a quick news update. We were going to be speaking with a gentleman called Mick Trim. He's from Walking Football for Health Victoria. Unfortunately, I was told just before the program that they will be pulling their program. They haven't been getting much interest. Their walking football session, which was being held Friday mornings at 11 o'clock at Leisure Time Sports Precinct, hasn't been attracting the numbers that they hoped, and it hasn't become viable, so they will be holding that off until further notice. However, if you are interested in walking football on a Friday morning, if you are a pensioner or just have a little bit of time on a Friday, but unable to be involved in, say, over 45s or the Masters or anything like that, look, drop us a line, get in touch with us, and we'll pass on your details to Mick, and he can get in touch with you if there's enough numbers, particularly in the off season. I'm sure they will get a walking football program back up and running. What have we got left? Oh, well, just earlier today, just prior to the show coming on air, we found out some incredibly good news for the region. The Combank Junior Matildas, they're assembling for a final domestic training camp ahead of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Morocco. And that's going to be held in kicking off on October 19 against Chile. Michael Cooper, who's the head coach, who's well known to this region. He at one stage was, I think, a technical director or director of coaching down at Surf Coast. He's called a 28-player squad for the upcoming training camp. And it just so happens that we have got a local Geelong girl, former North Geelong Warriors junior Anastasia Shumich, who now plays at Melbourne Victory. She has been called into the squad. So our latest Australian international or Australian youth international from the region has been announced, Anastasia Shumich. Congratulations to the young lass. Congratulations to North Geelong for once again producing yet another international talent. And we're going to be talking with one of our guests very, very shortly about elite development, elite youth development, and why we seem to be able to produce players like young Anastasia, like young Luka Didlitsa, Anthony Didlitsa, who are in the Australian youth teams as well. But from a club level, we just can't seem to get it at that elite level. Anyway, we're going to take a very, very short break. When we return, it is going to be time for our very, very first guest for tonight's show.
So work hard, and you can have whatever it is you want.
And welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. The moment has arrived when we unveil our new prized recruit for the Barcelona over 45s team. Now, what's it all about? For those that watched last week's show, you would have heard the interview with, or watched the interview with Stuart Mallon. The Masters Summer League is proposing a new over 45s competition, a men's competition at this stage, although I think they're talking about possibly mixed. And the whole idea is to try and keep more older people like myself in the game a little bit longer. Well, I've been challenged to put together an all-star cast, or dare I say, of people involved in the football community who are going to come together for a little bit of fun, but more importantly, mental health and also just physical health as well. And that's something that's going to be important. We've got Stuart Mallon, he's our captain, or unofficial captain. We've got myself, and now we're going to introduce someone who's been very, very heavily involved in the football community in Geelong over the last 2 or 3, maybe decades, maybe even longer. And he's going to talk to us a bit about, well, what's motivated him to join Barcelona over 45's Old Boys, and also a little bit about football in Geelong, particularly elite development. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our new recruit, Branko Krstevski. Welcome aboard, mate. How are you?
Thank you.
Good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Mate, I've been wanting to get you on the show for various reasons, because you're heavily involved and have been heavily involved with the local football community. But Barcelona over 45s. What's motivated you to pull on the boots again?
First of all, thank you for the introduction, and I'm honoured to be considered an all-star. Good to be your number one draft pick.
Yeah, draft pick. That's the word I was looking for.
No, but Yeah, you know, I love the game.
Yep.
I've been involved in the game for a long time, so this is a great opportunity to play again. You know, I've been played for a while, so while my kids were playing, I gave it away, so they're not playing anymore, so I can start playing again. And it's a great way for me to exercise. You know, since I've stopped playing, it's hard to stay in shape. You know, because jogging is not easy for me.
Yeah.
The motivation is not great. So
that's something that you said off air and it resonated with me, because these days you get so involved, and especially we who are involved in the football community, especially now over winter, it's so busy either with kids or with clubs or producing podcasts and that sort of stuff. And you find it's just so hard to motivate yourself. But look, chasing a ball, that's a bit of a different story.
Chasing a ball is, all the motivation I need to get moving.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also a good way to stay connected with all of our peers, you know, like.
And that's another thing, the social element. That's something I'm really looking forward to, and something that already I've catching up with Stuart Null and catching up with yourself, and there's a couple of other people we're trying to get on and rope on board. So if you're out there in clubland, you're over the age of 45, you're a male and you haven't played football for a while, this is very much fun, very much enjoyable. Apparently down Surf Coast, Ballarat Peninsula, there's a lot of guys getting involved. Well, we want to get as many people from the northern suburbs as well. So, I've got my eye on a couple of you folks out there. But, Branko, let's talk about football in Geelong. You've been involved in as a senior player yourself over the years. Through your daughter was playing for a while at Galaxy. And let's talk Galaxy. You're still pretty heavily involved, and thank you, because every week you send us actual footage, highlighted, edited footage. Not too many people, in fact, no other club does that, but you do that. Tell us a little bit about your involvement at the moment with Galaxy.
Yeah. Well, both of my daughters used to play NPL, so they've stopped playing. So now I've got a lot more time. So I'm trying to just figure out how to stay connected with the game still. So it's a little bit, I'm kind of over the age of playing, so so I've got to figure out a way how to stay connected with the game.
Do you enjoy it, or do you find it frustrating, or do you find it, a struggle, or what do you find?
I love the game. I love being involved. It's been part of my life. It's been fantastic. I've been as a player, as an administrator, as a coach, as a volunteer. It's been a great way to stay connected with the community and be involved with the game. So for me, it feels natural to be somehow involved. So that's why something like this is playing with the over 45s. Hopefully, I can be competitive. It's a little bit over 45, not much, but hopefully I can play it, and I can live up to your expectations of being an all-star.
Oh, goodness me, there are no expectations. Let's do that. Now, mate, you've married into football royalty, so to speak, into the Krstevski family. And one of the things that a lot of your nephews and nieces as well have shown a lot of potential. Some are even on the cusp of, I guess, national representation, or state level representation. But so the elite development pathways, the elite program pretty well. Question that I would love to ask you, here in Geelong, we've got so many talented juniors, so many talented youngsters, and whether it's through Galaxy, North Geelong, NPL boys, we've got a tremendous amount of talent here in this city. Why can't we just take it to that next level, to that NPL level, A-League level, as far as clubs are concerned?
Yeah, well, I think in terms of the players, we've got pretty good players. We've got very talented players.
Some very good talent.
Yeah, we've got a lot of soccer families, football families, so that they're a lot of game knowledge. And the kids, they're pretty good. They're pretty disciplined. They train a lot. So we've actually got high quality players. The clubs, they're growing at the elite level. Galaxy is doing well, which not quite. The senior team's not quite at the NPL level, but hopefully we can get there. Yeah. Our juniors are probably amongst the best in the state. So the pathway is there.
That's my point. Our kids are doing really well. We've got kids from Geelong that have moved on to, Luca Didlitzer from North Geelong, now in the Australian under-18 21s team. Anthony Didlitzer, who also started at North Geelong, doing really well. I look over there at the back there, and your old club, Geelong, used to train back there, and a young fella called Chris Trajanovski was training over there. ended up playing for Australia. Skoko used to play. Didlitzer played in this backyard as well. Horvath, they moved on. These days, we just can't seem to. I don't know, either get that club happening, because there's is it the inspiration? Is once upon a time some of these players, they knew they wanted to get into the National Soccer League, the old National Soccer League, and they knew that where they wanted to play. These days, the funnel seems to be really narrow getting into the A-League. And this is a topic for another conversation. The A-League just seems to be a merry-go-round of players going from club to club. And the NPL is slowly becoming that as well here in Victoria. Is it that the players themselves just don't have that? I don't know, maybe we live life too well here in Australia, that there isn't that desire to go that next level and become professional, because it requires a lot of sacrifice for the kids, doesn't it?
Yes. Well, the kid has to want it first. The kid has to want it, and it's difficult. It's a difficult game. It's very competitive at the elite level, especially. Every time you step onto a soccer field, you're up against 21 other players that want the ball just as badly as you. So if you don't want it, it's going to be very difficult for you. And the guys, all the names you mentioned, all the guys that went up to play for the national team, they all started here. They all started here at these clubs, but this was like a starting point for them. It was a starting point. This is where they learned their skills, their basics. Learned how to play. They didn't have advanced training sessions and programs like we do now in the NPL, but they had a lot of scrimmages, a lot of small games. They developed game smarts, So, but it was a stepping stone, and then eventually they went to the Knights. They went to the Preston. They moved to Sydney. To the elite pathway. They got opportunities, but talent isn't enough. Talent is a starting point, but you got to have an opportunity and timing. You got to be at the right place at the right time. So you've got to be mentally strong. You got to be really psychological. You can't be put off. You missed an opportunity. You didn't get a game. Coach didn't like you. If you really want it, you're going to battle on. You're going to, if you want to be a real soccer player, you're going to battle on. You're going to fight through it, to get to the top. And it's possible. Lots of Geelong, like you mentioned, a lot of Geelong guys have made it. Hopefully, some of the girls will make it too. We've got a lot of talent, a lot of driven kids, and it's part of the journey. You got to start somewhere. And I think we've got a good place to start, and hopefully our clubs can get better. They can get stronger, they can get a bit more sophisticated, so that the pathway becomes a little bit more pleasant, a little bit easier for our kids to get to the top level.
Very interesting. Mate, well, this is an election year. We had Eddie Contel earlier in the year talking about a location down in Corio that would be earmarked as a regional soccer facility. And then there's also a facility or location in Armstrong Creek, which will be a sub-regional facility. So there's talk of having elite-style facilities if the various levels of government come to the party. Bar that, what would you like to see happen in Geelong to take that football to that elite development level to another level? What would you like to see happen?
Well, at the moment we're a little bit behind Melbourne. Melbourne is kind of taking the spotlight and taking the shine off our kids a little bit because of the geographical difference. They've got their academies over there. They've got their other programs. FV has got their training centre in Melbourne. So it's a lot difficult for our kids to get in there. When the coaches pick their squads, if there's kids that are similar ability, they're going to pick the Melbourne kids. That's a bit of a disadvantage for us. So if we had our own system, our own facility, our own program, I think that'll be a much more opportunistic, much better for our kids, to actually to receive the best end of training. We can obviously compete against the Melbourne teams. Our Galaxy girls have shown it this year. They're pretty much all the age groups are near the top of the ladder, so we can compete. But unfortunately, as they get older, we don't have enough facilities for them to stay here. They'll go to Melbourne. They'll go to the academies in Melbourne. They get up at 6 a.m. to go to train with Melbourne Victory. They have to get up and arrive for training at 6 a.m. From Geelong.
It takes a lot.
That's a big sacrifice for parents, for kids.
And I know from personal experience that the travelling up and down the highway, it takes a toll. It does take a toll. But is it, in your opinion, is it facilities alone? Is it a mentality shift? Are we here maybe? We need to change our thinking and become, because I find a lot of, even that NPL level here, the kids know each other. They're friends outside of the clubs. They go to school together. They go to parties together. And whereas in Melbourne, they turn up and it's football. It's business. It's straight to business. They're like little robots, and they go there and they've got their friends outside of that environment. But here in Geelong, is it too social, even at that elite level where they want to play with their friends? And if they're not good enough to be at that level, they give the game away rather than decide, all right, I'll play somewhere else at a lower level. Do you think that is an issue or not really?
Well, all the clubs have got their own unique DNA. I know I've been involved with Galaxy most lately, and when you go to training, the kids are training. They're serious. They're ready to train. They're not mucking around. But when you go to a community club team, well, then you've got to motivate the kids to train. You've got to drag them in. You've got to get them out of the car. You've got to stop them from skipping around. Yeah. So it's a different, if the club wants to be an elite program, they want to be an elite, they have to start from the top, First the committee wants it, then that's got to go down to the coaches, and the coaches set the standards, they set the program, and that goes down to the kids, and then you've got to make sure you've got the right kids playing as well, make sure you've got all the attributes that's going to be a successful footballer. They've got to master the ball, they've got to have game knowledge, all those fundamentals, be physically agile, they've got to be psychologically strong, they've got to be able to do all those things, they have all those attributes, and then that's like a starting point. Then they have to sharpen it all up. They have to be really quick, they have to be really tight, they've got to be on top of their first touch, and mentally they've got to be strong, you can't give up because it's a rainy day or windy, or you don't like your teammate, you don't like the coach. That's irrelevant, you're there to play a game, you've got to be successful. So
it's fantastic talking to you, getting your insight into what you think could and should be done here in Geelong as far as elite development. Mate, once again, thank you for joining us on the show. I look forward to being teammates, and then having a bit of a kick, and I look forward to that. But in the meantime, thanks for everything that you do for Geelong football and have done over the last X amount of decades, I suppose. And once again, thank you for joining us on the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast.
Yeah, you're welcome, Tonchi, and thank you for having me on. And I look forward to playing in the over 45s.
Looking forward to it. That's Branko Krstevski from Geelong Galaxy, and also the prize recruit at the Barcelona Old Boys over 45s team. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we're going to continue with tonight's jam-packed episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast, episode 201. Folks, don't go away.
When you or a loved one need professional nursing care at home, experience and compassion matter. Private Nursing Care provides personalised one-on-one nursing services throughout the Geelong and Surf Coast region. Delivered by registered nurse Christina Skorjanik. Services include diabetes management, wound care, medication management, home care package assessments, continence and catheter care, compression stocking application, nursing reviews and personal care, tailored to meet your individual needs. Whether you're recovering from illness, living with a chronic condition, or simply require ongoing nursing support, Private Nursing Care is committed to helping you remain safe, comfortable and independent in your own home. To learn more or arrange a consultation, contact Christina at Private Nursing Care. Private Nursing Care, professional nursing, personalised for you.
Welcome back. It's the day after here at the Bell Park Sports Club. Now, last week we were on that side of the field and we had Gabby Mage, the captain of the Bell Park team. And today it's Kids' Day, basically Sunday. But last night was a huge day for this club, a massive day for this club. We ran a poll last week who you'd like to see featured in this episode, basically a club feature. And Bell Park won. And I ironically, say whatever you like. As I said, last night was a massive, massive night for the club because after umpteen years of trying to get out of State League 4, guess what? Bell Park Senior Men's got out of State 4. They captured the championship. They're promoted to next year's State 3, where there's going to be 3 Geelong clubs. Karai Rangers, unfortunately, relegated from State 2. But Bell Park promoted from State 4. to tell us all about how it was over the last 24 hours, we're going to be joined by the President, Rose Pirrottina. Oh, a very happy President, Rose Pirrottina. Firstly, before we go any further, just a massive thank you to you and to everyone at Bell Park for all the support this year for the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. But, we're not meant to have favourites, but obviously Bell Park has supported us so well. So one of our favourites has been the Bell Park Soccer Club. But what the result yesterday? Tell us all about it.
Oh, look, Tonchi, I think it was a bundle of nerves, that whole match. It was, for the boys, they knew what it meant. And in that change room, you could feel every emotion, which you knew that they were coming from the heart. Like, they knew exactly what it meant to the club.
Yep.
And they went out there. Look, did they play their best? I think they really did try, but when they went out there, they were tested.
Yeah.
They were really tested.
And do you recognise that pressure? Probably not used to it, not used to that such occasion, and that may have had an effect. But at the end of the day, the job was done, and that's all that matters.
I know, and that's what I said to the boys. I said, you may not have won the game in score, but you to me, you are champions. You are winners.
That shows on the field, doesn't it? And on the ladder.
Exactly. And look, we are going to be. I think we're going to miss out on winning the league because we're just where we're sitting. So it's a bit at the moment we're just trying to work out where everyone is and what the fight is. But look, did we try? Did we have some? We had some beautiful goals that could have been put in. The effort was definitely there. We just missed out. It was just one of those where there was a magnificent goal where it just hit the top of the bar. It was and you could hear the crowd. The crowd turnout was to everyone that supported it from presence and afar. Thank you, because it was there. The rooms were never packed as the way they were. I think, I've got to honestly say, I think we had most of Geelong behind us.
Yeah, and that's fantastic to see. And I think I'm just speaking to a lot of people who were here. North Geelong, they didn't play. Geelong was away. A lot of the teams were playing either later in the evening, so obviously a 3 o'clock kickoff was such a masterstroke as well. We'll talk about the after parties very shortly. But all in all, I mean, that's the beauty of Geelong football, isn't it? Like, people do get together. Gabby Mage made an appeal last week, calling out the football community to come and support, and obviously they came and supported in big droves. And the after party, the game was shifted forward to 3 o'clock for an after match function.
It just happened to work out that way, which was amazing. It was which was actually magic. The thing with us was just with the game, finishing off on the game. Look, at the end of the day, it was celebration city. Like we were, we were all waiting for that whistle to blow, and as soon as it did, that was it. And then the after party began. It started from the change rooms right through. There was so much emotion. There was tears. There was
tears of joy, of course.
absolutely. A 20-year drought.
Well, that's the thing, and I was about to ask you that. How long has it been? 20 years. There
20
you go.
Years.
And I've been involved with Geelong soccer, with the podcast here for the last 8 years, with Football Victoria before that. And I've seen coaches come, I've seen coaches go, I've seen players come, players go. And there's certainly no shortage of effort, that's for sure. But now the effort was rewarded. So I guess, in a way, the culmination of this year and Alan Muscat and his boys earning promotion is a reward for all those years and years of effort, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a true believer that for every destination we get to, there's a history behind it. And if it wasn't for that history, we wouldn't be here where we are today. So I thanked everybody that has contributed as a player, as a volunteer, a life member, at coaches, committees, and the list just went on. And I apologise if I left anyone out, because for everyone that has even came as a spectator, you have contributed to our history.
Now we're speaking with Rose Pirrottina, very, very happy president of Bell Park Sports Club. Rose, earlier in the year we had you on the show, and you talked a lot about the atmosphere, about the camaraderie, the family kind of feeling on and off the field here at the club, and that's something that I've definitely seen. I guess that link between the boardroom and the membership, the players and the supporters, the men's team and the women's team. We had Olivia earlier in the year saying how she attends the games, the boys attend. So there's a real family bond, family link. With this, I mean, this is obviously a huge achievement. How much do you think this is going to even strengthen that family feeling even more?
It actually is going to be quite honest, the bond gets stronger. And the reason, and the one thing I have learned through Clubland is that we create memories that we'll never forget.
Yeah, memories like last night, that's for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But even more important, we create friendships.
Yeah.
And you put a price tag to that.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
So our bond as a collectively I've always been wanting a club to be inclusive of everybody. That's what I wanted personally. And the whole club, you know, the committee members behind me, the board members behind me, the players, we really do try to make that inclusive. If you're new to the club, we try to make you feel welcome. Yeah.
Now, next year, unfortunately, I guess for Corio and Rangers, it looks like they're going to be relegated to State 3, but Bell Park moving up to State 4. That's 3 traditional clubs, historical clubs from Geelong's North that are going to be playing each other on a regular basis. The derbies are going to be phenomenal.
They're going to be huge.
It's almost going to be like a Geelong Advertiser Cup every couple of weeks, isn't it?
So, right. So, yeah, like just State League 4 to State League 3 is huge. I know for the other clubs it's disappointing that they've stepped down, but I think it's going to put soccer back on the map in a bigger way because the clubs are now 3 strong clubs are coming together to play the same league.
Yeah, and historically and all of that kind of stuff in the atmosphere. 6 o'clock on a Saturday night seems to be like a master stroke. It really became a destination kind of for many people. It was an event. It was a Saturday evening kind of a thing. Now, obviously, with the local clubs, is that something that you're going to kind of stay on with, the Saturday night time slot? Or are you thinking maybe Friday night games, maybe whatever?
Look, we're quite open, but the 6 o'clock does work for us.
Yep.
But obviously looking at the league and what, you know, who remains in the league next year is going to have an impact, you know, and what works for all the clubs.
Yep.
But for us, the 6 o'clock, it was great because a Saturday night you could go and watch a game of soccer.
Yeah.
Which and that did work for us.
And then those 3 o'clock games, they'll finish by then, and you get lots of people coming from one game to the game here, and that used to work really well. You're going to have a little bit of a break over the off-season. I mean, there's still a couple more weeks to go, of course, and then the local league finals and Watch United and Bell Park doing very well in the local leagues as well. Are you going to have a bit of a break, or you're planning on straight-away planning starts for next season?
Does soccer have a break?
Silly question.
Absolutely. I'm like, really?
That's the best answer I've heard. Does soccer actually have a break? No, exactly right. Yeah, and I guess, and that's the thing. You start to see clubs now putting expressions of interest for players and clubs next year. That brings me to my next point. That must be really hard for clubs who are really stretched with volunteers. And how have you found it, like, because the club has got so many different sectors now, do you find people are starting to get back involved with the club, people that haven't been involved for many, many years, maybe their kids as well?
Look, Bell Park's been very lucky, and I'm gonna be honest, because we've got some really long-standing volunteers and life members that have never left our side, and there's also some really long-standing that were young players that are now as coaches. They're involved in the club.
Yeah,
so you know, and that's club.
Yeah.
That's Clubland, and that's when you feel. That's when you feel the love in a club. And it's all those life members that have stuck around to help and to support, because some of them just don't have that, you know, either their health or whatever, but they come to every game. But the long-standing volunteers, and I've got to tell you, they've been here a lifetime. And they have not left our side. But what's so good now is that we've got the young ones coming up and volunteering too. I have got some young players that are actually coaching.
Oh, fantastic. Players coaching. That's great. And I love to hear that sort of stuff happening. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. So if, you know, for everyone that's listening, please get involved, because it is a gift from the heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's never, it's it's a situation where that you can give back to a club that you served you.
Yeah. Well, speaking of giving back, it's been an up and down season in Geelong. It's been more down than up, I guess. But Geelong Soccer Club, congratulations, and thank you for providing the Geelong community with some positive news, getting back into the VPL, but also to Bell Park Soccer Club as well. I think Geelong Senior Men's and Bell Park Senior Men's are the only two teams to get promoted this year. So thank you for providing the Geelong football community with a little bit of positivity in 2026.
Thank you, Tonchi. And just if I can just take this moment to say thank you to everyone that has supported us. And, especially I can't speak highly enough for all our volunteers, our lifeline members, and especially our coach Alan and Longo, and Nijin, and there's so many people there. Our sponsorship team, our sponsor Bizanella, who has never left our side. He's played an integral part. He's really about the community, and this is Bell Park community, and our supporters, our parents, our players. I hope I haven't left anyone out, but from me to all of you, thank you to helping make this dream come true.
Perfect. On that note, there's nothing more to say. We're going to take a short break and be back with the rest of today's episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. United League Security is your sports security specialists, keeping your employees, guests and assets safe at all times. At United League Security, we can assist with all security needs, but we specialise in event and sports security. We provide licensed security services throughout Victoria with an established presence in Melbourne, Ballarat, Bendigo and of course Geelong. We support a wide range of clients including logistics providers, event organisers, hospitality venues and commercial property managers who require consistent site-aware protection. Our team of experienced security professionals is dedicated to ensuring the safety and security of your event so you can focus on providing a great experience for your attendees. For more information about any of our services, contact us on 8624 0599 or visit our website at www.unitedleaguesecurity.com.au. And that, folks, brings us to the end of yet another episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you episode 201. Next week, we'll have our final episode for the season. That is, unless there's a club out there willing to sponsor next week's episode as a club episode sponsor. And then, obviously, we will prolong it for another week. But until next Monday night, my name is Tonchi Prusak. It's been a pleasure being your host and presenter of this week's Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. Good night.